Good morning. This is Haley Solomon with the North Carolina Housing Coalition. Thank you for joining us this morning for our housing call. And without further ado, I will turn it over to our Director of Housing Policy, Stephanie Watkins-Cruz.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are having a great week so far. It was really wonderful to see all of you, or a lot of you, last week at the conference. It's always like a really big reunion, and we are really excited that we had such a great turnout. So thank you to all of those that attended our Housing Works conference last week, and thank you to our conference sponsors and co-hosts. We welcomed over 1,200 attendees. And I don't know about y'all, but this extrovert was definitely tired. So I hope you all have recovered and that the rest of your week went well. I also want to say thank you to those who filled out the survey for our county profiles and our North Carolina Housing Coalition resources. We got a lot of great feedback, and I really look forward to sharing that feedback and the results of that with you in the coming weeks as we ramp up to start redesigning and thinking about the product for the 2024 county profiles. Moving on to federal updates. In an effort to help create more affordable housing, the White House has released a new plan. They released it last Friday to help property owners convert empty offices into apartment units. The administration plans to offer different financing resources for the commercial to residential conversions and also provide technical assistance and find different ways to incentivize states and cities to participate in those types of conversions. The new plan intends to build on the initiatives in the existing White House Housing Supply Action Plan, which the main principles on that is to aim, to lower housing costs, boost housing supply, promote fair housing. And then it also has an element where it hopes to lower energy costs and tackle the climate crisis. So a lot of great information in that plan and pretty timely, actually. I feel like I was talking about commercial to residential conversion last week at the conference. So really excited to dive into this a bit further. The House of Representatives has a new speaker. Last week, Louisiana Representative Mike Johnson was elected to the position after 3 other nominees failed to garner enough votes. So now with the speaker in place, the House can resume the consideration of its fiscal year 2024 appropriations bills. Congress has until November 17th, when government funding expires, either to pass all 12 annual spending bills or to enact another continuing resolution, a CR, to extend the current levels of federal funding. The House could potentially consider the THUD appropriations bill this week. The House bill provides a $6.4 billion increase over fiscal year 23 enacted funding. And while it does increase funding for most rental assistance programs, it still, unfortunately, proposes really deep cuts to and even the elimination of some HUD programs. The House will also consider amendments that would further reduce investments in affordable housing and harm households with the lowest income. In the Senate, lawmakers are considering a 3-bill minibus appropriations package, including a fiscal year 24 spending bill for THUD. The Senate version of the THUD bill would provide significant new investments in affordable housing, increase HUD funding by $8.26 billion over fiscal year 23 levels, and the senators are expected to finish voting on amendments and hold a final vote this week. So now is a really great time to contact your representatives and to remind them about the importance of increasing even more so the investment in affordable housing and community development programs, and to not cut funding for HUD programs in any way, as it would have really detrimental impacts. New CRA requirements were released last week, or at least the new rule, the Community Reinvestment Act rule, was released last week. Kind of a long-awaited process. Looking forward to diving into that, and hopefully we'll have a summary out for you all later. If you are at our industry update, you also heard Stockton Williams mention that the National Council for State Housing Finance Agencies will be releasing their latest edition of best practices for housing credit administration, and that has been released as well. And we'll make sure the links to both the final CRA rule and the latest edition of best practices for housing credit administration will be in the call notes for you. On state updates, Municipal elections are underway in many, many parts of the state, y'all. So with Election Day coming up on November 7th, early voting is open through this Saturday, November 4th. And if you haven't voted already, you can find an early voting site, your polling place, and your sample ballot on the North Carolina State Board of Elections website at ncsbe.gov. Remember, affordable housing is a key issue to consider during municipal elections because local decisions really have a big influence on the availability of resources, location, and the types of housing that we see happen in our communities. On the state legislative front, North Carolina Republicans voted to approve new redistricting maps for the next year that enact new boundary lines for both state House and Senate districts, as well as for U.S. House districts. This latest redistricting is a result of court rulings related to maps for the 2022 election. The new map divides the state's 14 congressional districts into 10 districts that ultimately favor Republicans, 3 that favor Democrats, and 1 that is considered competitive between the 2 major parties, according to various analysts. North Carolina currently has a delegation that's split 7-7 between Democrats and Republicans after a court-ordered map was used in the 2022 elections. Moving on to local community updates. The first one is really near and dear to my heart. In my previous role, I got the chance to have a tiny bit of involvement in this really beautiful project in Chatham County. The UNC Farm at Penny Lane in Pittsboro has finally come to fruition. It's a partnership with the Cross Disability Services and the UNC School of Social Work that came together over the last decade plus to build 15 tiny homes for people with mental illness who are living on a fixed income. Each tiny home is just over 400 square feet, and those living there will pay about $300 per month. This is a long time coming. They've done a lot of work. There's public funds, private funds, foundation funds, several different sources of resources going into this project, and it's a really beautiful site. So congratulations to Tava and the entire team for this really wonderful partnership coming to fruition. Haywood County is launching a $10 million affordable housing development fund in partnership with the North Carolina Office of Recovery and Resiliency, NCORE. These funds are going to be used to increase the availability of safe, affordable housing in a part of the state that experienced major damage from Tropical Storm Fred. An Affordable Housing Development Fund panel is going to be evaluating and selecting the projects that will be funded, which will include single-family and multifamily development. Letters of interest are due March 1st, 2024, in advance of the program application deadline of May 1st, 2024. The county also received additional funds from HUD to provide down payment assistance for first-time home buyers. So if you're in this area, if you're interested in this program, make sure to check out the links in the call notes. In Apex, a new development called Stone Glen Apartments is under construction along Apex Peakway. The community will include 164 apartment homes, and it's Apex's first 100% affordable project in more than 25 years. Prices will start at $690 for a one-bedroom and range to more than $1,700 for a three-bedroom. According to the town's 2021 Affordable Housing Plan, Apex has a shortage of 2,000 units for residents earning less than $40,000 a year. So congratulations to Apex. I know a lot of work went into making this project happen, so congratulations to the staff, and more importantly to the folks that will get to enjoy these affordable homes. The City of Durham is planning for the redevelopment of an old building that used to be the former police headquarters downtown. The council's vision for the vacant 5-story building includes at least 80 affordable housing units, some historic preservation, as well as commercial space. Several developers are currently being considered to redevelop the 4-acre property, so more information to come on that. And on the east, New Hanover County Commissioners approved almost $3 million as part of the county's 2023 Workforce Housing Services Program. The plan is for the funding to be divided between 4 different programs: a 72-unit affordable senior housing development, a Habitat for Humanity community with 35 new single-family units for families earning 80% of the AMI or less, New Beginnings Rental Assistance Program, which provides assistance and services to 127 127 families each year, as well as warm in-seas program to complete repairs on 40 units over the next 2 years. Moving on to reports and resources, we have a lot of great reports that were released in the last week or so. One that I want to, two actually that I want to list up. There is one through a partnership with the National Low-Income Housing Coalition and the National Housing Law Project that is titled Plugging the Gaps, Recommendations for HUD's RUSH program. The RUSH program is the Rapid Unsheltered Survivor Housing Program, and there are several recommendations for this federal level program after they evaluate it, and the support is pretty extensive and really well put together. The National Low-Income Housing Coalition also released an update to its rental housing programs database, as well as an accompanying report. I recommend that everyone take a look at this. North Carolina is represented in this database, but I know that there are a few pieces that can be updated. So if you notice that your community's program in particular is not up to date or is not a part of this report, reach out to them. The staff there are awesome, and they want to be able to continuously update this database and have it be as accurate as possible. Some events coming up. The North Carolina Center for Nonprofits is hosting their annual conference on November 2nd through the 3rd at the Benton Convention Center in Winston-Salem in order to connect with nonprofit colleagues and learn from different experts and practitioners and share insights. There's also several different virtual events happening in the next week or so. The first is Homelessness is a Housing Problem, a webinar hosted by the Harvard Joint Center for Housing Studies. That will take place on November 3rd at 12 noon. There's also a great webinar that's taking place on November 9th titled Multi-Sector Advocacy, A Look Ahead. This is one of the initiatives that we're actually a part of, the Opportunity Starts at Home campaign. So this will be a great virtual event for folks to attend. This is on November 9th at 2:30 p.m. There are several different pieces in the news as well that we'll link in the call notes. One that I want to lift up because I think it's particularly timely for North Carolina, since Medicaid will be expanded and going live December 1st. It's a piece by Shelter Force talking about how states can use Medicaid to address housing costs. And then another piece by Route 50 talking about how pandemic relief really expanded affordable housing. We're seeing a lot of reports and pieces like this, which really are just stating when you invest in rental systems, when you invest in affordable housing, you will see really, honestly, exponential results and really deep impacts for the folks that need it. That is all I'm going to highlight for you all today. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Don't forget that you can always reach out and let us know if you want us to highlight anything, or if you want us to share an updated event that you have coming up in your community, or if you'd like us to talk about something in particular. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you next time.